Hi, I'm Rachel Furlong, and this is my EDL 850 Module 16 case study for Internet use violations. Let's start with the summary of the case study. So the high school, Terry Steno High School, I think I'm butchering that name, I'm sorry, is an affluent area of a large city, and Dr. Harvey Smith is the principal of the high school and has been for 9 years, and he was also 2 years ago recognized as Principal of the Year by the State Secondary Principals Association. He's respected by parents. He maintains his reputation as one of the most prestigious schools in the state. And then last year he hired a teacher, a first-year teacher, Miss Robin Tate, to teach specialized science courses like zoology, botany, and genetics. Her class setup, even though she was a first-year teacher, with the years that she went to school, she was a bit older than typical first-year teachers, and she had very high expectations for the class. And these expectations for her science classes was causing stress on the students, and due to this stress, the students were filing complaints against her. So Dr. Harvey Smith met with her throughout the year to work on some strategies to help work on expectations within her classroom and helping to manage student stress. And that did not really change. Her second year, she continued with the high expectation of rigor in her classroom. And this students were worried that this was going to affect their grades. A lot of them wanted to strive to be valedictorian or salutatorian, and getting a low grade in science would stop their chances on that. So during her second year, over a 3-day weekend, over Veterans Weekend, she received an email that she needed to check out a web page. And she went to it, and it was a Facebook page that someone had created with lots of derogatory, demeaning language. And then at the very bottom of it, the last thing said, who wouldn't like to see Miss Tate disappear? So feeling for this is a threat, she called Dr. Smith and explained her concerns and her feelings about this. Dr. Smith looked over the Facebook page and said, no, it might be a prank, so let's see what happens in the morning, and we'll pull in this one student that she thought, due to his knowledge in computers and his disdain for her, that he might be one who created this page. And then Dr. Smith said that he would interview the students in the morning. Okay, so the problem identification analysis. What we know is that there's a new teacher not liked by students due to the extremely high expectations. There was a Facebook page created threatening the teacher and having derogatory remarks. And also that the Facebook page did not have like an identifiable creator. They weren't sure just when looking at it who created that page. What do we need to know? We need to know were there any previous threats besides just the phone calls and complaints to the principal about the teacher. What is the usage policy, the internet usage policy for this school? What are the laws that protect teachers in these kind of situations? And which students, if they find out, were involved in this? What's the problem? That there are students that are threatening a teacher because they don't like the teacher's classroom expectations, and that a teacher is feeling threatened and unsafe. So the proposed plan of action. So in looking at this situation, I had one similar in my building last year where there was a student who gave the principal's address to someone who threatened to do him harm. And this was brought up during a school time, and an additional threat was made to another teacher saying he could be added to this list. So with that, looking at that situation is kind of what I thought of my plan of action. Is you need to notify the superintendent right away so there are no surprises there. You need to turn it over to the police, because if this was done outside of school time and being that has to do with social media and the internet usage, that they need to be involved. I would also inform and involve the tech department to see, can they find out, was it done on school property? Was it done with school equipment? And also how to move forward with future situations like this. And you might want to revisit the student internet policy with the students and the parents. the strategies for this is make sure that there's documentation for the notification discussions with all parties and all stakeholders. And there needs to be also documented follow-up with the police and tech department. So with this documentation, you can show this later on as if issues continue to arise with this same subject. Category 3, resolve the issues with promoting student success. What is best for all students? Well, when it comes to internet safety, having training on digital citizenship and the law is very important for students and for parents. Parent engagement when it comes to digital citizenship is key. They need to know what is the law, but also what's expected from the school. It's also very important to support the teacher. Were there things that she was doing that were against the vision of the school, against board policy? What is it that was the big issue with what was going on with this teacher? And I think that the root of this is her expectations were so high, and the students were looking at a grade as the outcome, not the preparation for secondary and post-secondary education. Like, will they be prepared for that? And this school, being a high level for the state, that you'd think a teacher like this would be looked at and supported. So I think getting a committee together to look at the rigor and relevance of the classes, and also to maybe go look at other schools and programs that are as high achieving as this one is, so you can compare. And do they have teachers that also have that level of rigor and relevance? And how are they coping with those levels of stress with the student? Not putting it back on the teacher, like, teacher, you need to change. Students, what can we do? And that goes next to the next point of setting up support groups or study groups, maybe having some counseling sessions on tips for students handling stress as they're getting ready and preparing for the next step of being in some kind of post-secondary institution. After school, before school tutoring with people who are knowledgeable, even if it's the teacher or peer tutoring, maybe bringing community members or parents who might have knowledge. Bring in some guest speakers from colleges that have these high achieving standards, so they can talk about the rigor of their programs. So students and parents can hear that these expectations, these high level expectations, this is what is going to move you on to the next level. And make sure the parents are included in every aspect. So if they want to know why is my student so stressed out in this class, then you can fall back and give examples on that. And also, if that continues to be an issue, offer a couple sections of lower level, some basic science classes that students can easily achieve that A in if the grade is what they're looking at. So I think that to resolve the issues, digital citizenship is so important, and there's such a gray area for that right now. There's so much room for error and getting parents on board on what's expected. But I think that if students are driving the expectation of the building, I think that goes into the next part, which is resolving the problems, is that students and parents need to understand the internet safety usage policy and the reasons behind it. Teachers need to feel supported, but they also need to feel safe. It's hard to go into work every day when you don't know, first of all, who's threatening you, and that if you're being supported by parents and by your administration. And that students and parents understand the importance of rigorous classes to maintain the reputation of the school. Because if you drive away a teacher and this becomes some kind of lawsuit, that after you notify the police in notifying the union of what's going on, that if that school gets a reputation of, we're driving out teachers to bring in teachers who will, yes, give that A so they can become valedictorian, but when they go to college, the student from school over here, school B, is going to be far more successful because they've been driven and they had that teacher. They're going to want that teacher who's going to push the students. And yes, it is stressful. And that really separates those who will be successful in high achieving post-secondary programs versus those who will fail because it is stressful. So how I felt about this topic, I right away was thinking, students sure feel entitled that they can put whatever they want out there on the internet, and it is okay that their feelings and their anger, opinions, that they could put that out there and that there's no repercussion. My stepdaughter, she got in trouble because she videotaped with her phone her teacher sitting at her desk, and whatever her point was for that she was not to be doing that, and that they came with a clear policy for that. I think that students and parents need a lot more training in internet and social media safety. I believe that we're going to start seeing a lot more lawsuits in this area, whether it's from sexting to threats, to cheating. We're going to see so much more where different lawsuits are going to come out when it comes to internet safety. So I think having front loading the training and the follow-up on internet safety is really important for both student and parents. I was feeling really bad for the teacher who was putting really strong expectations and high expectations on students. And the principal came to her and said, you need to change because the students can't handle it. Well, you were right. There should be classes for those students who can't handle it. There should be other options. But the students who want to be driven and want to have that level of success, what do we give into the students? Yeah, they may not be prepared. They may not feel like a lot of students are not prepared to deal with stress, anxiety, pressures of the school and social, and they don't have those coping skills from an early age. This is just high school. So I believe I feel like we need to give the teacher a chance to teach and give the support to the students so they can learn to cope. And I value that the teacher kept her rigor, that she, second year in, knew what was best, especially in the area of science. You're looking at what's expected out of the world and what the world is producing. I think having one teacher who is doing that. And I value training in digital citizenship. My own children at an elementary, they're coming and telling me about what their internet safety for YouTube and using YouTube Kids. I think that having those conversations early on and also adapting to the changing needs within social media and what the internet is, it's changing. I think I value that. And I think some unresolved issues is, well, what kind of consequences will there be if they do find out which students, or if it was specific students, if it was that one student that the teacher knew. And what will the training look like for parents? How will you engage the parents, and how will you engage the students? And what kind of data will you collect to see if it is effective, so you know what to change or how to adapt? And how can the principal work with the parents and the students to change the opinion of the teacher? Because that's the principal's job, to help also guide the school culture. And if they all feel this way about a teacher, it's going to be hard, but there is a way to start to change the viewpoint and get them to realize that what the teacher is doing is really in the best interest of the students. So component one, I think with integrity, working to promote best practices. He was trying to do that with the teacher, being open to investigating the students, support high levels of learning and expectation, and that was consistent with what he was doing. With fairness, he hired highly effective staff, and I think that shows that he's looking at what is best for the students and working towards improving best teaching practices. And with fairness is he was maintaining a really great relationship with staff, students, and parents. And component three, I think that applying it in an ethical manner would, when he said he would look at it first thing in the morning, is really making sure that you're identifying the needs of the staff and students right away, and ongoing support for training, and working with the parents and the staff